Mai govan and melonin, ianethnin anuron, and this is how to speak Sindarin part 2. If you didn't realize there was a part 1, go ahead and click here, and that'll bring you to that video, or there's a link down below in the video info, as always. Sorry it's taken me so long to do a part 2. I know you have been asking for it for some time now, and I've just been busy with other stuff, but here we are, finally doing part 2. The topic of today's video is going to be pronunciation, which is going to be a tricky topic for me because, as I mentioned last time, pronunciation is not my strong suit. Case in point, I was actually mispronouncing the name of this language in 3 different ways, no less. Last time, I kept calling it Sindarin, and while that might be okay according to like English rules, it's not correct using the rules of the language itself. So let's dive into those reasons. Firstly, there's the matter of emphasis, putting stress on different syllables. In Sindarin, you put your emphasis on the third to the last syllable if your word has more than 3 syllables. Sindarin happens to have 3 syllables, so unlike what I was doing last time, putting the emphasis on the dar, you're going to put it on the sin instead. Sindarin, not Sindarin or Sindarin. That's way wrong. Another example of this is the name Legolas. The emphasis is on leg, Olas, not Legolas or Legolas, it's Legolas. Now if the word is shorter than 3 syllables, you're going to put the stress on the first syllable, essentially what would be the third to last syllable if the word was long enough. If the word is over 3 syllables, it's still going to be the third to last syllable unless there's a special character like a diphthong or an accent. Then that's where you put the stress. The second way I was mispronouncing Sindarin was by not rolling my R's. Most native English speakers don't roll their R's, and so it was just unusual for me, which is why I wasn't doing it. But when you're speaking Sindarin, always roll your R's. That's how they do it. That's one of the ways that consonants are pronounced differently in that language than in English. There are a couple other rules too. For instance, the letter C is always a hard K sound, like in cake. Similarly, G is always a hard sound, like give. The letter F, especially when at the end of a word, is pronounced like the letter V. If you see the letters C and H next to each other in a Sindarin word, you're not going to say it like the word chill. You're going to say it like the Scottish word lach, or the composer Bach. It's in the back of your throat, it's kind of a gargly sound. While the elves do use the letters T and H to make a th sound, they also use the letters D and H to make a very similar sound. I imagine it as being DTH instead of just DH, so it's more of a dv sound. It's not a very common sound in English words, but I have heard it in some pronunciation of Spanish words. I think it comes up a little bit there. Not so common in English. The DTH thing helps me. I don't know if it's going to help you. Let me know down below in the comments if any of these things are helpful or if there are other tricks you know to help you get these more unusual sounds out. If you find the letters P and H next to each other, that's pronounced like an F, like you would in the word phone. And last but not least, the letter S is always pronounced like the letter S, never like the letter Z. There's no Z in Sindarin. And the third way I was mispronouncing the word Sindarin was by mispronouncing my vowels. The letter I is pronounced like a long E sound. It sounds much more like the letter I you'd find in the word machine, rather than in the word in. Most other Sindarin vowels are pronounced in similar ways. For instance, the letter A is pronounced like you would find it in the word father. The letter E is pronounced in the middle of your mouth like you would in the word better. The letter O is pronounced like you would in the word thought. And the letter U is pronounced like you would in the word brute. Now the Sindarin pronunciation for the letter Y is weird to me. I don't quite understand the notes on it. All the notes say it should be pronounced like the German sound Ü, which I don't get, because that doesn't look like a Y sound at all. And furthermore, the pronunciation notes go on to say that a Sindarin I is an acceptable replacement if you can't do the U sound. So how does U become E? I don't understand that, but that's what all the pronunciation guides say. Again, if you have any tips or tricks or ways to understand this, like maybe you speak German and you can explain the U part of it to me, please let me know in the comments, because I don't really know what's going on with the Sindarin Y. If you're like me and you're having trouble with this concept, it is apparently acceptable to stick with the E sound of the Sindarin I. So that's what I'm going to do until I know better. Just a reminder, this is a learning process for everyone involved, so don't feel too bad if you don't feel like an expert after this video, because I don't. The last thing we're going to talk about today are diphthongs, which are vowels that have 2 vowel sounds inside one vowel. Now, since each of these diphthongs are 2 vowels combined, the way I do it is to imagine going from one sound to the second sound but just kind of sticking them together really quickly. The first one up is going to be the letters A and I next to each other. As we've gone over already, A is pronounced like I is pronounced like E, so I, I, I. A-E is pronounced very similarly, except a little bit more open at the end, so it's just like A. A-U is pronounced like AU. E-I is pronounced like in the word ray, it's A, A, A. O-E is pronounced like you would the word boy, and U-I is pronounced like the word we. Oo-wee, oo-wee, oo-wee. They're tough to explain, and they look weird on paper, but when you start to do them and you start to say them out loud, then they become more natural. Okay, I think that's going to be it for today's video. I hope these tips and tricks help you speak like your favorite elf. If you have any questions, please leave them down below in the comments. I do read them. I appreciate all the nice things you've said to me on the first video in this series. Hopefully I'll be able to get to do some more in the coming year. Please don't forget to like, favorite, share, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Galu a noveren.